Haha, welcome! Happy holidays, Merry Christmas! Well, it's almost Christmas for most of you guys. It is Christmas here. It's 8:45. Today in Germany we unpack our presents and I do have one for myself here. Prusa finally managed to ship me a Mark III. Actually, he shipped me two. So what we're going to do today is we are going to unbox this assembled one. Again, because it's Christmas, I don't have time right now to spend all time to unbox the assembled one and build the kit. We're going to build the kit very soon. So we are going to take this thing out of the box. We're going to walk through the features. We're going to try to get it running. Prusa did tell me to update the firmware and do the calibration and kind of read the manual. You know the drill. But yeah, if you're wondering why this thing is already kind of torn up, I was actually looking for the side that had like the original Prusa i3 Mark III, because usually you get one with a sticker just over the Mark II, but this one didn't have it. The Mark II is listed on there on both sides, both front and back, but neither has the Mark III, sticker over it. I think that is so iconic to the Mark III box, but yeah, that's how it is. Also, finally, Prusa did manage to set up an affiliate link for the Mark III and the Mark IIs for the entire shop. So if you want to grab one, yeah, I'd appreciate it if you use the links in the description. I know I'm gonna love this printer either way. Like, yeah, that's not gonna push me either direction. But let's just get into it. So yeah, obviously same form factor, same basic thing that was the Mark II and the Mark IIs. And yeah, let's see if this one survived shipping. Mic check? Mic should be really good today. That Prusa sent you unsolicited? No, I did ask for this one. We wrote back and forth. I wanted this one. Prusa knew that I wanted this one. So he sent me one. That's how communication works, dude. Like, yeah. Look at that. A shirt. Does everyone get a shirt? No, this is like, look at that. That's like the one that the Prusa guys actually work for trade shows, etc. With Prusa himself on the back. Right. T-shirt. Not sure if I'm ever gonna wear that, but I might wear that at trade shows actually, just to mess with everyone. Let's drop that over there. Oh wait, what did we get here? Ooh, this is nice. So yeah, the Prusa Mark III, one of the big features was actually the I got one. Ha. This thing right here. So this is a there we go. This is actually the PEI coated spring steel print bed that was one of the huge features of the Mark III. Basically clips in magnetically to your print bed on top of the heater PCB, and this one kind of didn't get ready in time. I guess they couldn't push out the volumes they needed it for, and this is apparently one of the few ones that are out in the wild. Buyers did have the chance to opt for this guy instead, I guess, yeah, which is just raw spring steel with a PEI sticker on top of it. So yeah, this is what you could opt for and get your machine quicker and then get a bit off the actual coated one. It kind of a bad situation, but I think they handled it decently. I don't think they handled it great, but yeah, people are getting the machines, and this is the one that you typically be going to be getting it with right now. And yeah, it's gonna work. I mean, it's still PI coated on both, or PI sticker on both sides. Yeah, that's that. But this is the one you actually want. This is slightly textured, and what is that? They already printed on that. Look at that. They already have, yeah, a start line on this one. So I guess they did test this machine. There's that. All right, what else did we get? It's in here. Is another one? Or is that just a... What is this? This looks interesting. So this is... I have no idea what this is. This could be... It feels like a stickier version. If Joe's watching, maybe you could fill me in. But this is much smoother than the other coated one. So yeah, I have a feeling that stuff like PTG is gonna be impossible to get off of this one. But yeah, cool. There are 3 heated beds. I believe you only get one by default, and the one you probably want is the textured one. That I really like the texture on that one actually. I saw the prints on the Mark II multi-material first, and I think that it's nice that you get an all-around kind of consistent finish. No PI on it? No, there is PI on it. Cool! Congratulations on getting the brand new original Prusa i3 Mark. They really need to cut down on their names. The brand new original Prusa i3 Mark III. What do you get? You get... Let's double check that that's upside down for you guys. I'm sorry. You get a Mark II S printer. Cool. You get some free PLA filament. I'm told that is the filament they actually make their own. Stop the background music. I will in a minute, maybe. This is the filament they actually make themselves now. This is the Prusa mint. Filament hooks, needle, alcohol pads, USB cable, power cord, glue stick, special tools, and manual. Packed on December 14th. Buy one in GearBest, you don't get the original Prusa from GearBest. You only get that from Prusa. GearBest has knockoffs, which are not even close. Especially not to the Mark III. Your typical... Prusa does this, not a lot of... You can't see that, cool. Not a lot of other manufacturers do this, but you get like the full test report of the electronics. This all works. Yeah, RPM, they now have RPM sensing in their fans, SD card works, axis movement works, that's the heat up curve and cool down curve, that's for the bed I believe, yes. So this is, can you please mute, yeah. That's that, cool, and you get a manual, well, the 3D printing handbook. I don't know if I'm actually going to be using that, as is custom for the Mark IIs. Cool. So this, get that out of here. Yeah. And there it is. Wow, that looks fluorescent on camera. Holy crap! They did actually change their. No need for music. They did actually change their plastic color, their plastic formula. And you can most definitely tell that on the on my old Mark IIs and on the Mark II multi-material. Because this one is actually UV active, I believe. The old ones are not. Just get this guy out of here. Oh wow! Oh wow! There we go. So, there is that. We'll get into the rest of the contents in a second. Music is too loud. Yeah, let's actually turn that off. I don't want to annoy anyone. If you want to listen to Christmas music, this is music from Epidemic Sound, which is a stock music site. You can just turn that on yourself. And it looks like we lost a foot. Let me double check that. So. Feet. We actually lost 2 feet. Cool. Let's quickly fix that. So these are just plug-in feet that sit in the aluminum rail. And apparently either I pulled them out or they got pulled out during shipping or something. But there we go. It now has rubber feet. It now has proper rubber feet. Before the Mark III, obviously it wasn't using the aluminum frame, it was using threaded rod, which, yeah, kind of felt outdated. And that only allowed for felt pads, and now and this one also fell out. Cool. I have a feeling I'm not going to be too in love with these rubber feet. But now the subframe for the Y-axis is obviously a lot more rigid, so they can actually holy crap, that is also... Not sure if that is intentional, but This right here, this looks kind of janky. This front element here, this is all undone. That might not be on purpose. All right. Cool. Let's definitely refasten that. Not sure if that just came loose during shipping or if they never tightened it down, but they will definitely need to check that at some point. All right. People are asking why this one is pre-built. They have two versions. They have an assembled one and they have a pre-built version. Both are available from Prusa directly through the official store. The assembled one is a bit more expensive than the kit one. Did it just say pre-built and assembled? But whatever. Yeah, this one is a bit more expensive because obviously they fully test it and they fully run it through its paces, and they assemble it for you, obviously. I would recommend... No, that's not blank. Come on, I'll get back to that in a second. I would recommend buying the kit either way. Like, the kit is a bit cheaper. It's $749 or €769, I believe. And not just because it's cheaper, but also because it is, just a big learning experience. Putting together a printer like this, it's going to be faster than the... It's going to be faster to build than the Mark II, the old Mark IIs, and that was not too bad. So, yeah, plus the manual is if you actually decide to follow it, the manual is really good. So I would, unless you need it ready to go and don't want to spend the time on assembling it, but that's like the best part for a 3D printer. Yeah. Also, what I really like about the Mark III is that it made the Mark IIs a lot cheaper. That might actually be the printer you want to look into if you're trying to get an affordable start into 3D printing right now. The Mark II, I think, is $640, $660 something, instead of these $700. It's cheaper than it used to be, and it's still the Mark II. I still use that a lot. The Mark IIs is just a slightly improved version of that, but obviously the Mark III uses a ton of new features, and we're going to walk through those when it prints, because we can demonstrate all of those while it is printing, which I think is pretty cool, or most of those. Dryling bearings. Yeah, so dryling bearings on the old ones, yes, that helped a lot, but then again, stepper drivers also do. And this one comes with the Trinamic drivers, which, I love. They are awesome. They are extremely silent. And just super reliable. So let's see. There's some more cardboard in here. Parts started warping on your Mark IIs. Check your Z height offset live tuning setting. If your PI is fine, then you should be able to make it work. There you go. With squeezing it down, and of course to make sure it is clean. All right, cool. Any other zip ties? So it feels like it's actually gotten heavier, but it probably got just slightly heavier with the big aluminum tubing down here. All right, Joel, thanks for the tip. You got one as well. I know that you probably also got two. So enjoy. You're going to be able to follow along as I mess up. So let's just go over the beds again that I no signature. I think I actually got the signature on the kit version. We'll see. So heated beds or bed flex plates. Prusa knows I like to mess up PI. It is somewhat easy to mess up if you print PET, for example, or flexibles on a raw PEI sheet. So we got two that are just spring steel. These are literally the raw spring steel with the classic sticker on it. So this is a thin PEI film, and it is the adhesive in between. So if you pull apart really hard from these, it is going to bubble up slightly. You can push that back down, but it's not the most robust surface. It works well if you take care of it, but you can also mess it up if you if you don't, if you don't pay attention. This is the one that is basically PEI powder coated onto the actual steel. I think this should be super durable unless, you know, it actually tears chunks out of it. I've not tested this. We're gonna see. And this last one, I think this is also a powder coated version because there is something on here. You can see how it reflects light. Raw steel doesn't. Also, there is a color and a feel to it that makes me think this is. It almost looks like it's spray painted from the surface, but yeah, this is also some sort of stuff on the black ones with PETG. Interesting. Yeah, something on this bit as well. Cool. We're going to use the detextured one, obviously, and this one is not, but this one is. I might be able to show you what that looks like on the B camera. So there, yeah, you can see that. So this is actually it's too fluorescent. Come on, this is actually the texture you get when you're using these sheets, and it almost matches up with the amount of texturing that the layers just give you. So I like it. I like it. Am I going to test it? Yes, I will print with it. So theoretically, this should be done. This should be unboxed and ready to print, I think. Yeah, we're gonna need power. Let's actually check out what else we got in the boxes. Holy crap! I'm having trouble keeping up with chat today. Sorry. So Noctua fans, yes. Prusa actually mentioned. Here, let's fill in on that real quick. So there you go. There's your Noctua fan. Because Prusa is using the quieter TMC drivers, the trinamic drivers, the fans are now actually the loudest thing on the machine. So they switched out the hot and cooling fan for this larger Noctua one. And Noctua is a brand, I think they're from Switzerland or something, that is known for making really quiet fans. Of course, this color scheme is not to everyone's taste. I think they actually custom ordered a few black ones, and those might start rolling out in a while, but yeah, that's just how it is right now. But they are quiet, they work well, they are reliable. Drinking noise. So that is, yeah, that is nice. Cool. There we go. This will go on. By the way, so do not print directly on this surface because this is the raw PCB. You could put a sticker on this. You could put just a PI sticker on this PCB and you'd essentially have your old Mark 42 heated bed again. This is the Mark 52 now. So you could do that, but you shouldn't. Warning, hot, don't print. And, excuse me, and keep away from pacemakers. So that's a new warning label that I've not seen on 3D printers before, either before this nobody cared, or this is, well, magnetic. Okay, so is it because of the magnets? Maybe. Cool. We are getting some alcohol prep wipes for the PI, and I think we're actually going to be using that in a minute just to wipe this thing down. Alcohol prep, blurry ones, you know what these are. Same good RAM SD cards we've been getting for a year with the, there we go, with the original Prusas. This box is throwing that camera off. You know what an SD card looks like, all right. One acupuncture needle. There we go, Haribo Dinos. Interesting, that is not sugar-free, right? That is just regular Haribo. Cool, so that's good. Lasts through 2018. We're getting a new spool mount, look at that. Wow. Okay, I had not seen that before. I think they did not have this one at TCT. There we go. So that is a completely new spool mount. Before you had like the two, to have a Mark II around here somewhere. Yes, but that one doesn't have the spool mount. Before you had like two individual pieces that would just slide together and then have a little pin that goes into the spool. Worked well. most of the time. This one is just a different take. It's a single piece. And it just clips onto the frame like that. Oh, that is tight. That is like super tight. Probably the other way around even. Nah. Wow, that is tight. There we go. That's on. Is it printed? Yes, this thing is printed. Breaking around the frame clamp. Ooh, okay. So maybe print a replacement of these. But then again, yeah, it does. Wow, this actually flexes quite a lot. I wonder how that impacts like the frame's resonances. Yeah, CNC Kitchen's doing some really great testing on that. If you want to check out more on how the Mark II resonates, go check him out. He's doing some really quality content. Looking forward to seeing the Mark III tested. Right. Is it printed? Yes. That is actually one of the RepRap core fundamentals, which this thing is, I guess, technically still a RepRap. Print as much as possible or reproduce as much as possible of the printer with the printer. So anything that is orange on here, yeah, literally anything that is orange on this machine is 3D printed. And that is one of the core features that Prusa does that not a lot of other manufacturers do. Loadspot does it, but they actually use these exact machines. They use their own printers to make the printers they sell. So they have a printing farm of a few hundred machines printing 24/7, so they know what works and what doesn't, and what needs improving, and what likes to fail. And this is how you make a good machine. So that's one great way of testing your own products. Use them. How long is the stream gonna be? Not too long. I have a date with my couch after this. So yeah, we're gonna get a quick print out of this, and yeah, we're not gonna build the full kit today. Ah, Joe, yeah, don't worry about your Christmas. Don't worry about your Christmas dinner. Don't worry about this stream. We're fine. Have a nice dinner. Enjoy. Filament. This is. Silver. Is this unlabeled? Not sure if this is the Prusa brand filament, but it's made in. Ah, there we go. Okay, this is obviously the one the Prusa meant. There we go. So 2 spools. I think you only get 1 by default. Silver, plain stuff. Good filament. This stuff. And this is sample. So this is not representative of the final filament quality, I'm told. But the color should be close enough. Let's check this out. So it says Galaxy Black. This is Prusa meant Galaxy Black. Galaxy kind of tells me it's a... It's a particle-filled one. And I love those. Look at that. That is... I don't know. Looks a lot like vertical gray. if I'm honest. Come on, camera. There we go. Yeah, that is a nice particle-filled, anthracite, dark gray. Looks nice. Looks nice. We're not going to be printing with this today. We will be printing with some other filament that is ready to go over there. Cool. Yes, I skipped over these. So you get a Phillips 2 screwdriver and a small flathead screwdriver, basic maintenance, and some hex keys that should fit pretty much any hex socket on this machine. So let's go ahead, plug it in. Where do we have power? There we go. It's not available yet. So you can order the Mark III. You could order it for a while. It says officially like they start shipping in November, but that's November this year. So I know a lot of people have been getting their Mark IIIs out of just regular orders. So I mean, yeah, there is of course going to be a lead time, but this should be available. Okay, let's just, ow. Ow, that is tight. Yeah, there is going to be a lead time on this printer, but there always is just going to be. So, yeah. USB cord, we will be using this. The same color as the frame. Yes, that's what I heard as well. Let's double check that. So, it's not Vertigo black, it's Galaxy black. It's I'd say that is, yeah, it's pretty close. So to my eye, the filament looks slightly lighter than the frame, but on camera it looks slightly darker. That's interesting, but it's pretty close. Yeah, thanks, Aaron. I know that I'll have to remove and replace this plate a few times. That's why I was hesitating there. But supposedly the firmware will actually tell me when to put it on and when to remove it. Cool. So there is our glory shot of me failing to find a point where to start peeling. Vertically right there. Oh, okay, we failed. Some printing fuss there. Okay. Did that excite anyone? I don't know, kind of felt unsatisfying to me. Right. Different Z offsets for PLA and ABS. Interesting. Powder-coated sheep will... Powder-coated sheep. I'm hoping they're not going to ship powder-coated sheep. But the powder-coated sheet supposedly ships late January. Yeah. Yeah, so I know this one that I have is probably one of the few prototypes that they have. Just to show it off, I guess. So first things first, I was instructed to do a firmware update. So let's actually do that and show you the process of this printer not turning on. Does it now need... This used to work without power, I believe. Let's see if we can actually get a connection going here. So, firmware update. I have already prepared for this. So, firmware updater. That's the button I'm looking for. Orange parts are PTG. Wait, what? Have they changed? These used to be ABS. Oh, well. Let's see which one we should flash. I'm guessing it's the most recent one. Gotta love just the Windows serial. Choose file. Downloads. I did already unzip this. So this is the newest 137 hex file. And let's check. The LCD screen should go blank at some point. Change to PTG. Gave better layer bonding. Yes, that is... that makes sense to me. This is still going. I don't know where it's uploading to. I believe this might be the wrong device. Let's disconnect, rescan. 653, okay. So apparently this is, what board brain does the Prusa use? It uses the, it's a COM3. It uses a INC board, which is a custom design by Ultimachine, based on the ramps, or not the ramps. Well, essentially everything's based on the ramps, but it's based on the Rambo Mini. It still uses a classic ATmega processor, the ATmega 2560, if I'm not mistaken. But it is, look at that, upgrading firmware. But it's a custom design by Ultimachine. It's still open source, of course. It's still based on Wall, and you can still do anything you want with it. it still has integrated drivers, etc. So yeah, evolution of the classic design. Ooh, someone already scraped this. I can see some scrape marks. Cool. Oh, he broke it. Yeah. How does PTG go down on the PEI sheets on these? It sticks way too well. I've not tried these exact PEI sheets, but I know that PTG likes to stick extremely well onto PEI. Supposedly you can print it well with a slightly reduced bed temperature, but then again, I kind of don't really trust that too much. So what I usually do is I put some, that's why they're including this glue stick stuff. I put some glue stick or magic glue or not 3D lac maybe. I put something that is going to peel from the PEI afterwards over the PEI and print to that. So yes, that is my recommendation for printing PTG. Upload successful. Cool. Restarted. Min temp. Yeah, I thought they had lowered this. It is relatively chilly in here. I'm just gonna get the heat gun real quick. Chris Kelly, thanks for the £2. Where can you buy the Einzi board? You cannot buy the Einzi board separately for now, unfortunately. But you can. There we go. I know audio reception isn't that great over there. You cannot buy the Einzi board separately right now, but you can get relatively close to the features of the Einzi with with basically any Atmega-based board and a set of TMC 2130 drivers, because that's one of the big features of the Einzi. Cool. There. Good. Let's actually set this to a low temperature just to not preheat. Settings, temperature, nozzle. Set it to 26, 25, just so it doesn't dip below the min temp threshold again. Is the extruder in PTG too? I think so. Well, it's black, but supposedly that is also PTG. But PTG is fine for an extruder. Cheers. Why am I seeing stripes? Cool. How much of the print quality on the Prusa i3s can you attribute it to the integrated separate lead screws? Depends. It's the slicer, it's the firmware configuration, it's just everything working together, it's quality parts. I don't know what percentage, but I wouldn't say 90% just because of these. So what was that for? This thing we're showing min temp. So basically locking out at 14 or 15 degrees, because that is when it thinks that, the thermistor has failed. So, yeah, heat up the hot end with a heat gun and the bed slightly, and then set it to low temperature if you want to keep it on standby. But yeah, that's an issue I've had in this basement for a while. So yeah, just to heat it up slightly. So now we do the calibration. Why do I have a powder coated one? Because I know Joe Prusa, and yeah, he sent me one. That's why I have one. So let's see. Yeah. Can you all read that LCD screen? I can't. Okay, let's just see. All right. Power panic and ramps? Nope. Not without a bunch of extra hardware. So no SD card. We're gonna slice something in a minute. So let's see. Should we check the manual? Yeah, nah. Calibration? That sounds good. Wizard! Ah, yes, the bearded guy. Running wizard will delete current calibration results and start from the beginning. Continue? Yes. Wizard sounds good. Let's actually do that. Focus this guy there. And then keep that in the corner. That should be readable, right? What? Hello, I'm your Mark 3? i3 printer, would you like me to guide you through the... Yes. First, I will run the self-test to check most common assembly problems. So we did retighten these, and I don't think it would check for those. Anything else loose? Let's check. Belt feels fine, both on the... Oh, that is tight. The Y belt is pretty tight. Everything else seems okay. Hot end. Still standard E3D V6 with the 0.4 nozzle. Self-test site, okay, fan test. So these are actually gonna... That is spinning, okay. This guy's spinning, you should be able to hear the whine slightly. So this also has a... Yeah. This one also has the... it's probably impossible to see. Yeah. This one also has the tachometer, the feedback to the board. So the board actually now knows whether the part cooling fan or the hot and cooling fan has stopped. That is so silent. I didn't even hear it spinning. So that is, ooh. Okay, that is also really silent and scary when it just starts moving without you hearing anything. By the way, that was homing. It just bumps into the end. Again, no end stops, no nothing. Just sweet. Just bumping into the ends. The drivers report when they sense too much resistance. The cool thing is the drivers actually do not skip when they detect that end. They don't go into a full skipped step. They just feel the resistance, and once the resistance is past a certain point that is pre-configured for this exact setup, then they know, okay, we've hit an end, or we've run into the print or whatever. But yeah, checking bed. Well, if it didn't tell me to remove anything yet, so yeah, that is really cool. So no more end stops on the X or Y axes. The Z-axis still has the same pin to probe in here, this same one that... No, actually not. Actually, a improved one that now has temperature compensation, not built in, but temperature compensation as in a thermistor in the actual probe, and then the firmware can do some compensation. Typically, these sensors... Let me rotate that around so you can see. Typically, these sensors... Still can't see, okay. You can see it behind there slightly. These sensors typically have some sort of thermal compensation built in, but it's not always 100% accurate. And I know that some of the cheaper sensors drift slightly when you heat it up. Usually it's not that much of an issue, but perfectionists, you know, they gotta think about everything. So that now has a thermistor built in. What else? Yes, we have the filament runout sensor. So in here is like a, think of it like a optical mouse sensor. Hold on, before I explain this. XYZ calibration, it will take approximately 12 minutes. Do I have to take the plate off? Cool. That is nice. Is the steel sheet on the heat bed? Yes. Please remove steel sheet from the heat bed. Sweet. Got it. Please clean the nozzle for calibration. Click when done. Let's check that. That is, yeah, that's clean. Place a sheet of paper on the nozzle during the calibration of first 4 points. If the nozzle catches the paper, power off the printer. Should we do that? That's just a safety catch. Where did I put that? Thanks for buying. There it is. Hot 2. Hot 2? Where does it say hot 2? Oh, there. Hot 2. Why does it say hot 2? That is a great question. Good catch. I do not know that. So place a piece of paper under the nozzle just to, yeah, emergency shut off the printer in case it crashes. Okay. Calibration failed. Calibration failed. That was quick. Check the axis and run again. Please check our handbook and fix the problem. Then resume the wizard. Is that after rebooting or by rebooting? Okay. Well then. Well then. Let's check the handbook. Why check the axis? What, did this not? Okay, this. I see the problem. I mean, did I move anything? I might have moved something, but this guy definitely is not where it's supposed to be. Yeah. Okay, that's gonna get a few people seasick if I show it like that. Can we see it on here? Yes, we can. So this right here, this spot that you see, this circle, this is actually where the sensor is supposed to touch. This is the sensing pad basically for the probe, and the probe didn't hit that. Yeah, it completely missed it. So I'm not sure what happened there. Let me just reset that and restart and just see if it works on a second try. If not, we shall consult the manual. Joe, link the new firmware. Link the new firmware. I have already flashed the new firmware. Joe. RC3 firmware with. Well then, let's try that. Might be a firmware issue. Let's download that. But while we do that, let's run the calibration again. No, yes. Okay, still misses it. So we shall download the new firmware. That's the thing is, the thing is this camera is not focusing. That's the first problem. There we go. And you can see how far off that is. So I did download the official firmware from the website, which is beta 137 or something. That is public facing, so they have linked a faulty public firmware on their website. That sucks. Why aren't they testing that? So let's just grab this one that Joe sent me in chat right now. They should fix that link. A lot of people will be unboxing their, so that's 138. Cool. A lot of people will be unboxing their Mark IIIs these days. Yeah. Read the fucking manual sensor. Don't think it has that. So let's reconnect that. I've also heard that supposedly the manual disagrees on what is actually written on the LCD during calibration. So yeah, let's hope that fixes it. Cool. Firmware updater. COM3 should still be the same port, so 138. Update, and yes, that reset. That's uploading. Cool. Step installed while I was I ran it twice. It is yeah, probably a firmware bug. It's interesting that they're shipping this without a firmware that is like officially done and tested. Like this is beta 138 that I'm flashing right now. The one that I flashed onto it was 137 beta. So, yeah. Not sure. Is this a prototype? No, it is not. This is a fully shipping machine. I guess that they were quite keen on getting this thing out as quickly as possible because it already was delayed more than they thought, but that's of course it's software, it's going to get updated over time. Knowing Prusa, I know they will actually update stuff over time. But yeah, not the greatest start. Lots of mesh bed level points, like Joseph said. Is that possible? Let me check what Joseph said. Don't see it. All right. So this guy has already reset. Let's see. I'm your original i3 printer. Would you like to? Yes. Let's do that again. Auto home. Okay. X, Y. Is there? No. Place paper. Don't care. Interesting. Still misses it. Well then. First steps. Calibration Fluent Wizard 6-3, page 12. You guys read that somehow? That must be pretty hard to read. Is the y-axis too far in the front? Yes, x and y. So x and y are at 0. And it's just missing its calibration points. It's important to disconnect for the whole calibration. Well, let's try that again. Could that be the issue? Disconnect USB. Let's see. I don't know why it would not move over there. Nope. Check the axis and run again. Check the axis. I mean, the axes are working, right? So theoretically, we should be able to just test the axes by going into move axis. See, axis works. I mean, we did see X and Y working as well. Like we can jog Y no problem. And we can jog X no problem. Totally fine. Dead silent too. Let's reset that. What are we looking at? Don't use wizard. Actually, let's try that. Let's not use the wizard. So we did reflash the firmware. I am trying to use the calibration wizard to, well, calibrate it, because after you update the firmware, you should recalibrate it. Theoretically, yes, it should come calibrated from the auto home. It should come calibrated from the factory. But I was specifically told to update the firmware and recalibrate it. So that is what I'm trying to do right now. Okay, so that was definitely slanted. Pin the probe not connected. It does light up. Does the self-test pass? Yes, it does. Searching bed calibration points 1 of 4. And it's... now it's searching. Okay. That is looking better. Apparently the... So it's now searching over the bed. You can see the bed slowly moving back and forth, and the x-axis just, and the x-axis just searching back and forth over the point, while the z-axis is actually slowly lowering down. The probe can detect these individual points, which are a solid piece of copper. The rest is PCB traces. So yeah, there we go. Most people keep a piece of paper on the bed while doing this step. Yeah, most people do. So the loudest noise on this machine right now is actually this bearing right here rubbing right now. It's rubbing on the edge of its idler, which is a moving idler. What's it called? Shoulder. Let's push on this slightly. Oh, okay, now it's now the noise is going away. And the motors, like, they have almost zero noise. This squeaking, I might just spray some silicone oil on this or something, but this might get on my nerves sometime very soon. Didn't the wizard tell you to attach the removable plate? No, it told me to remove it. So this is exactly, right now it's exactly what it's supposed to be doing, and it is, yeah, definitely doing that. Chat has a few automated filters on offensive language, etc. That is just preset. Applies to everyone equally. Let's see. Do Z calibration? Yeah, what we're doing right now is XY Z calibration, so the full thing. Theoretically, again, you shouldn't need it with a printer that ships assembled. And yep. Actually, while it's doing that is going to take a while. Let's actually slice something up over here. So I did install the latest drivers. Let's see, Prusa 3D Slick 3R Mark III. So you can apparently install the Mark II and the Mark III slices separately from each other or independently of each other. That is good. It's the same basic Slick 3R installed, but it comes with a different set of profiles. So what we're gonna try to do is have this thing not crash for today. Christmas tree. Yes, there is a tab that is called Christmas tree. It is Christmas Eve. We are gonna print a Christmas tree. I really like the shape of this one. It's a bit too large, So let's go into spiral vase. Yes, let's change all of that. 0.15 sounds about right. And slice. What happens if you touch the extruder now when calibrating? I'm not sure if the skipped step setting right now is active. I don't want to try it. Ooh, something is... Looks like that camera is frozen. Looks like my computer is running out of CPU, or the battery has run out. That's another option. Yep, battery died on the front camera. Sorry about that. How do I do this? 1 second. Yeah, that's janky as... No memory card. Looks okay. There we go. That should be back. Thanks for the $5 to Super Chat, Randall. Merry Christmas to you too. Yes, we were slicing. There we go. So this is still calibrating. This is still finding its points. Sun is gone? What? Sun? No, sun is gone. And sun is there. So vase mode. This doesn't print well in vase mode. Look at that. You know what? I'm gonna print that anyways. I think it looks good. I like the look. But video skipping, running out of CPU. I so need a new streaming setup. We are actually going to scale this thing down. More like way down. There we go. Searching bed calibration points, 1 of 4, okay. So let's redo improving bed calibration points. That used to work better with long hair. So let's see, this is much smaller now. Audio broken, audio dead. Audio should be okay, man. Like, sound. Really laggy, crying. Yes, I'm running out of CPU. I'm sorry. Sound may need a sound. Yeah, let's get through the deslicing process here and. Exported, eject, goodbye, yes, cool. Now sound should be better, let me know. I'm hoping, if not, I might need to reset some stuff. Printer's interfering. Audio is broken since camera fix. That's interesting. Not better. Okay. I shall try and reset this. I'll have no audio for a second. Please excuse me. That's a microphone from the overhead webcam. That's a good temporary fix, I guess. All right, but now the front camera is gone again. What? Why you do this? Camera, why you do this to me? Did it reset? What is going on today? Yeah, so I just set up all this tech today after coming back from Hamburg from the hang printer build. So excuse me if has some, if there is still some slight issues with it. Right. So this is overhead audio. I'm not even using my wireless setup today. Starting again. Okay, I'm actually gonna restart the stream. Give me a second. Hello, hello, anyone there? Should be. Should you any other great tips? Yeah, at least this thing is processing. So it says 12 minutes. This entire thing should take. Improving calibration. So what it's doing right now is good, better, okay. What it's doing right now is it's searching for these 4 calibration points. You can see them marked out as dots on the PCB here. I don't think that's where the actual magnets are sitting. No, that's not where they are. But that is where you're just getting a small copper plane from camera and audio. I don't know if it's the front camera causing audio issues, but it's more of a combination of things. Yeah. Overhead mic, let's see here the idler squeak. I guess that's good. So yeah, you have these 4 calibration points on the raw PCB, on the pure PCB without the PEI sheet on top, or PEI steel sheet on top. So that's what it's searching for, and that's what it can tell like XY slant from, and that's also what it's using as a base planar reference for whether the band is slanted in any direction. So yeah. First calibration run was just to rough it in, and now it's just refining that real well so it knows exactly where those points are. Yeah. What is the lifespan of a Mark III? I've been running my Mark IIs for probably way past a few thousand hours, just nonstop. Haven't done any servicing other than an occasional drop of oil or grease, but do they have a lifespan? I don't know. I've not run a printer into its end of life yet. I don't think any printer has a lifespan if you take like slight care of it. I do see things like PTFE inside a hot end if your printer has that. Over time wearing down, but this one does not. It's still using the E3D all metal hot end with a custom heat break that probably is going to become the standard for E3D. It is already the standard for Prusa, carried over from the multi-material upgrade. Yeah, that's the squeak, by the way. That's the belt rubbing on this idler. Belts will deteriorate. Yeah, that's going to be a really long time if you have decent belts. If you have cheap belts, yes, they are going to flake out over time. Somewhat decent belts will not. Also, with bearings and linear rails, you do have hardened rails. So this guy is... Oh, and now this camera is... Why is this... This camera is working, but I don't have a screen. Like... Today, tech is not liking me. But yeah, on these guys you have, these rails, these are hardened steel. So these aren't going to wear in anytime soon. There we go. Hardened steel rods as, you should be using. I don't think any printer ships with unhardened steel rods these days. So those will rarely wear in, if ever. MK3S grooved in 3 months. Interesting. They did change the rails on the Mark IIs. The ones on my Mark II still look... I actually check it. It's right over here. You can see some scarring, but nothing that would impact the life of these rails. Okay. Hardened steel plus coating, yes, that's essentially what these are. These have a chrome coating on them as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, first step of the calibration is done. Please place steel sheet on heat bed. That is quite hard to pronounce. Measuring reference height of calibration point 1 of 9. So now it's doing basically auto bed leveling, the classic way any other machine would do. It's just taking a few points on this very surface, which you can, do in any other printer as well. It's kind of a neat hybrid between standard features that are being put to use and Prusa specific features that they have used for this machine. So a few things I want to demonstrate in the print that we're going to do. We will test the XY step loss detection, and we will also try the filament runout detection. So supposedly, and the power cutoff, of course. I've not tested the filament myself yet on the TCT show floor where they had a prototype Mark III. I did test the axis skip detection where you push an axis to the side, it rehomes and it keeps on printing like nothing ever happened. That works. I know it does, and we're going to show that off. I've tested the power off detection. So during a print, you can just pull the power cord and it's going to lift up slightly, and you plug it back in and it keeps on printing again like nothing ever happened. Yeah, so that we will do in a second. And yeah, filament you can either stall or pull out completely, and it's also going to stop printing. XYZ calibration are right. XY axes are slightly skewed. Good job. That might have been during shipping. These screws were loose during shipping. So yeah, distance between tip of the nozzle and tip. That's too quick. Can I get you to scroll slower? Distance between the tip of the nozzle and the bed surface has not been set yet. Please follow the manual chapter, first steps, section, first layer calibration. That's just the calibration print, I guess. It can detect how far you pushed it. No, it cannot detect how far you pushed it, but it can detect that you have pushed it at all, and it's just going to rehome into the end like a regular homing cycle, like a regular homing cycle. And then go back to where it left off. So that's not it's not like a servo where it will actually detect where it is. It's just going to rehome and then work off of that again. And yes, it does have filament jam, runout, clog, whatever detection. It does have an optical sensor in here that actually measures the filament's movement. So if the filament stalls, if it stops moving, or if there's no filament that can move, then it's going to detect it and it's going to stop the print, and it's going to ask you to maybe replace the filament. This is also what it can do to switch colors within a printer, switch filament. So if you run out of one spool, you just pull it out. Or if you want to switch colors, you also just pull out the filament and drop in a different one. So that is nice. Calibrate Z. So this is, first layer calibration. Calibration, first layer calibration. Cool. Oh, that is actually included in the firmware now. That used to be a separate print. Should we use the filament that's in here? I think that's good. Will it detect peanut butter? I don't know. Let's see. Calibration. First layer calibration? That sounds about right. Is PLA filament loaded? Yeah, enough. Attack from a cat? Yes! Actually, it should detect that. So if a cat comes in and moves your axis or knocks over a spool and gets the filament to tangle, that will be detected. How long can it remain unpowered for? There are two different cases where the power off detection, so you just pull the power or you have a power outage or something, will work. So first one is it gets power quickly enough where the temperatures are still okay. Especially with ABS, this is crucial. So if the temperatures are still within an acceptable range, which is probably like what, 20 seconds or so, plug it back in, it waits for the harden to heat back up, then it keeps on printing. That's case number one. Case number two, things have cooled down below what the bed is rated for, or what Prusa knows that the bed will actually grip. And in that case, it will ask you to double check your print, hey, make sure that it's still stuck to the bed, and then it gives you the option to resume. So those are the two cases, but definitely, theoretically, it can remain unpowered indefinitely. There's no time limit. It's writing where it stopped off to a non-volatile memory. There's no batteries in here. There's no backup batteries or keep alive. The firmware is the board is actually completely powered off. If you pull the plug, there's nothing keeping that alive. It just knows where it left off. Cool. Head has been knocked, only obstructions. It knows if it lost position. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. No time for trolls. On any stream, by the way. Cool. So that's the print. We will need live adjust C. Okay, so that's been pulled up. And there we go. And that is looking way too high. Way too high. Let's double check that. So you can actually see the Z-axis turning right there. I think that might be a bit too much. That is definitely too much. Right, is negative the wrong way? Nope. Okay, now it is too low. There we go. That's looking better. Oh, maybe a bit more. So now it's giving me like a pad to double check. Z-adjust should be around -1. Yes, that is around -1.35. There you go. I mean, we all know Billy is now going to run out and go, oh, he blocked me, he's censoring me. Sorry, dude, you were the only one who was being negative and trolling, and I don't need that. Like, come on. Okay. I'm actually surprised none of the mods blocked him yet. Yeah. Chris Kelly, thanks for the £5. How was I adjusting the nozzle heights during a print? By the way, there is a bit of PLA stuck. Is that a Marlin feature? Marlin's calling it. Wow, I actually don't know if current Marlin supports that. I know Prusa has that feature. Let me just show you that real quick. It's also available in the regular settings somewhere. Live adjust Z. Yes, that is basically a live Z offset adjustment that gets applied to every move on the printer. So it's actually moving the Z-axis right now. You can do that during a print. It's a feature that I think is somewhat custom to the to the Mark II forward. I don't know if the original Mark I had it, but Prusa printers have that. There might be a similar feature in modern. There is baby stepping, but that doesn't apply permanently. This offset is stored permanently in the firmware. So, yeah. Again, baby stepping is just for now. Baby stepping is for the current print, where you basically tell the printer, okay, lose a few steps in Z, please. But this is permanently stored in the printer. Kind of it does the same thing for a single print, but works differently internally. Cool. Let's see. We can print, right? How does this new extruder work, actually? I've not used this yet. It's probably somewhere in this manual, how to change filament. I'm just going to try and pull this out. That works. And hold on, theoretically, I was told that once this thing is heated up, let's actually try that. I don't know if this actually works, but I was told if I just start feeding filament into this guy, it's gonna pull it in by itself. So we shall not use infinity glue today. This is Torwell Silk, a filament I quite like for the looks. I'm not in love with the performance of it, but it's a nice filament. Enable the filament sensor before the prints. Also check if crash detection. Block the carriage, should not push. Yes, that is one of the things with the trinamic ones. Trinamic drivers, you shouldn't really push the... Actually, let's just try if this works. Yes! Look at that! And it's feeding. It's working! Holy crap! That is literally doing it by itself. I didn't push anything on the printer. I just fed some. That is magic, guys. Wow! And you can see it spewing up. You can see it making its little plastic puddle. That is so nice to see. Yeah, and there's our green filament. So apparently, yeah, I should have raised the. I know. And that's done. Apparently, the filament sensor is enabled. Let me double check the super chats. Thanks for the €5, Thomas Kerpe, and thanks for the $5, Byron. Stream is just what you needed for Christmas. Mark III shows up next week. I hope you know what to expect. Don't use the wizard. That's like one of the things I learned. The wizard is still not finished. Head cleaning would be good. Yeah, maybe. So let's actually double check that as suggested that the skip detection is enabled. I'm guessing that is somewhere in here in settings. Filament sensor NA. On. So that is during a print. Right? Apparently it is enabled when it is not printing. So this is when it's actually printing. You do get the filament sensor shutdowns when it runs out of filament. Filament auto load on. Okay, that was what we just saw. Fans check. If a fan blocks, it's going to stop. Crash detection, that's when it loses steps or is about to lose a step. Temperature cal. Might need to read up on the second UART. What? Mode normal? What is mode? I press that. Stealth. Wait, what? So what we just had was actually the noisier version of the printer. We'll have to try that out. Wow. Did the hardener have to be heated for that to work? I did heat it up. I'm not sure if it would actually heat it up manually. Okay. And there's our live address C. So all the sensors are on. Sort, that's SD card sorting. All the sensors are on. We are calibrated. We are... Yeah, let's actually wipe this thing down and start a print, and we should be done. Temperature calibration is pinned on temperature calibration. Makes sense. So yeah, what we just had was actually the loud setting, which is crazy. And this is coming off. Cool. Stealth doesn't support some features. Yeah, so that is actually one of the limitations of the Trinamic drivers. Stealth doesn't support the step loss detection on X and Y, or the bump detection, essentially. But we can try that out in a second during a print. We should be able to switch it. So it's preheated. Let's just see. No SD card. That's right, there's no SD card in there. Does the printer have a USB port so you can connect it to... They actually flipped the... Did they? Hold on. There we go. Also, no SD reload, as some other printers require you to do. XTR3. Let's print that thing. Does it have USB? Yes, it does have USB. You can use that to connect it to a Raspberry Pi or to your computer. Control it. Traditionally, it just, yeah, same as any other printer. So that's just a quick grid bed leveling. Nozzle is clear enough. There. Honeymoon back. Any plans for more TMC 2130 videos? The TMC 2130 is basically done, but what I can do is cover things like adding stepper drivers, external stepper drivers to any board. So replacing blown ones or upgrading something like a Rambo with external drivers like this 2130s. Right now, Marlin is not supporting all the features yet, but once they do, that would be definitely nice to see and worth a revisit. Oil for filaments. That's actually one that I've never really understood. It's carried over from like the ancient days, that you're supposed to have like an oil filled sponge right before your filament enters your extruder. My standing on that is it can fix some shoddy setups, but on a quality setup, you shouldn't need it. If you have good cooling on your hot end, if you have a good heat break and a good extruder, you should not need oil, and it does degrade print performance. Holy crap, that thing is, wow. That is 100% speed. Okay. Okay. Try and stealth. So this is on the overhead camera. This is basically this perspective, this camera right there, which is okay. Now back in focus. Okay. So that was regular mode. Let's try tune. And there you go. So if we go to mode, you can kind of see that, right? Normal, stealth. So that is now as close to can I? No. As close to inaudible as a printer can be. Like that. This would genuinely, I'd be genuinely comfortable with this thing sitting next to me on a desk. That's pretty good. So literally right now the noisiest thing is still the fans. Blink LED, blink LED, what blink LED? Something blinking back here still? Yes, right there. That is that's something that a lot of people ask about. This is the heated bed heating, because it is PWM controlled. So as the bed heats, as the bed gets powered, this LED lights up. So yeah, that's not something that indicates anything important. For all that concerns me, it should be Yeah, that shouldn't be there. That is just unnecessarily confusing. Look, camera's focusing on the important stuff. So print is looking, I mean, good. This filament does show imperfections really well because it does have that that high gloss to it. Let's actually, okay, so that's an E10. It's not PWM, it's very slow PWM. Technically it is PWM. Eat the Haribo, no thanks. I already have some very sugary brew right there. Why am I working? Because you guys are important. That's why I'm working. All right, we are in silent mode. Let's actually switch it back to it's in stealth mode, sorry. Normal mode. So this is normal volume, which is, I don't know, not noisy either. And let's do something that is probably going to make most of you cringe, I'm hoping. If not, the saddest. Power cord. Power cord gone. So this thing is completely powered off right now, and it it might not have. Let's see if that actually worked. Let's see if that was enabled. Wow. Recovering print. It did work. Okay. So it's rehoming. Just replugged it. I plugged it back in. So if you had a power outage, it would. You probably wouldn't even notice that it was gone if the power recovers on its own. Bed heating. So it's now heating back up to temperature. And it's yeah, recovering by itself. So it's heating up back there, so it doesn't ooze over the print. So it doesn't seem to move. Head out of the way. Supposedly, LCD. What LCD? You want to see the LCD? Yes, I know. Supposedly, it should move the head away from the print so that you can. Sorry about that. So that you don't get a blob or anything. But didn't do that. Wait. What's going on? Is it heating up now still? I feel like we might be getting a blob there, just because it's standing there so long. Why do I have to do this to you, Joe? Well, you shipped me the printer. I mean, it's your own fault. It just waited until power was reapplied. Well, I mean, it had no power. There's no waiting for power to reapply. It does detect a power outage. Do you need 2 hits? That is interesting. It seems like that didn't work quite too well. Might be better firmware. But what we get right now is we get the G-code display down here. We get it heated up, but it's not printing. It's not doing anything. I have seen this thing work. I have seen this thing work in action. Right now, it's not looking like it's working. I can do print from SD, so that's not looking too good. Well then. Let's restart. That's not going too well so far. Not going too well. So yeah, there is quite a large blob in there. Feature number 1 might still need some working on. It went back to the restart position. Yes, it did, but it did not actually restart. Try all of the bundle G codes. Those are probably all too long for me. I want to try it on one that I did slice. This was freshly created with a fresh Slick Viewer Mark III version build. So let's print that and yeah, let's print that file again and try the other features. How does it work? It stores every next step it takes to EEPROM? No, that would completely destroy the EEPROM memory within a few prints. What it does, you pull the power. I'm not going to pull the power right now. What it does, so you pull the power, it detects that the power supply has lost power. Supposedly there is an extra lead there somewhere. Yes. Maybe you can see that on the overhead. No, you can't. But right there's the bunch of power wires that go from the power supply to the electronics, and there's an extra one there, which is a black and white, and I see something red and black in there as well. That supposedly that the power supply can use to tell the electronics, hey, I've lost input power. And then the firmware can immediately turn off both the heated bed and the hot end heaters to conserve some power. Move the hot end up and away. Typically, it only makes it up, is what Joe tells me. And then, then it stores the line, or actually before that, I guess, it stores the line where it stopped it in the G code. So it at the line and how far it got within that line in G code. So it doesn't have to continuously write where it is. It does so at the moment when you pull the power. Again, I did see this working live on a trade show. I do have it on video if you want to check out my interview. It's weird that it's not working here. I'm gonna write that down to this exact firmware. Yeah, maybe a bit rushed. Does it need to be in G code? I don't think so, because it did the entire procedure. It did the entire move out away procedure and then rehomed and restarted. But well, people are writing it works on their machine. I'm sure it worked. I'm sure it works. It might just be a fluke right here. So no battery in here. Totally no battery. Huge cap, yes. It uses the capacitance in the power supply for writing that emergency information. So that is like the huge cap you want, but yeah, doesn't have any battery other than that. So capacitors, yes, but just nothing out of the extraordinary. 3D Kid, thanks for the £2. Looking good, just showing what are you printing up? It's Christmas Eve. Printing a Christmas tree, obviously. Kind of have to, right? Right. Why did I not turn on slow mode? Try skip step feature in filament runout. I will, actually, right now. Thanks for the £2, Chris. So, skip step detection. So supposedly I can push this over and it's going to recover. Or I can at least block it. Yo, that 100% didn't work either. Come on. Let's see. Is that enabled? Crash detection on. Yo, that's doing nothing. Might not be as reliable on a print so slow. Yeah, so that's... We are seeing the limitations of these systems. Y-axis as well. Y-axis doesn't do anything. Okay. What do we see working so far? Not a lot. Okay. Restart and try the filament runout detection. So the filament runout detection, I believe, does take a few seconds to trigger. Print a body, print a something from the SD card. Realistic scenarios. Come on. Please turn on slow mode. Off in stealth mode. We are in normal mode. We are not in stealth mode. The overhead microphone should be able to pick that up reasonably well. So you just have to leave your finger in a way perfectly still. It does. The drivers detect both. They are very quick in detecting when something skips. So it doesn't matter if if the tool head moves slightly after the fact, it should also detect that. Because right before it skips, it should it should go to that resistance point. Maybe vase mode, I'm not sure. Like XY should work independently of the Z axis. All right, that's, again, this is just a quick, it's not in stealth mode. I can show you guys, like it's not in stealth mode. It's a normal mode. Normal mode, normal, crash detection on. Filament sensor on, let's actually try that. Pinch the belt and it should work. Pinch the belt, so basically do that. Ah, okay, now it works. Okay, so it actually thought it was rehoming. But now it's not detecting anything, and that should be, whew, that took quite a while to detect. Yeah, I messed up the homing as well, so it did print a bit over here. So again, this is just my live experiences. I will put this thing, that's still a bit too hot. I will put this thing through its paces and see how much these actually work in a real life scenario. I did see these features working way better live at TCT. It's kind of throwing me off. Belt skipping on the pulley? No. And again, if you want to check out the TCT video, I did do the same thing. I just did right there and pushed the X-axis carriage, and it worked flawlessly there. Not sure what's different here. I will need to try this out. Joe's Nightmare Before Christmas, yeah. The screws were a bad omen. That's actually one that I don't understand how that could happen. Filament sensor, yes, filament sensor next. I know the filament sensor is working. Just want to see it working during a print. Can you octet by 20 centimeters or so, the full distance? That would most definitely kill the stepper driver if you just zip, go that. So, Don't break the filament sensor too. No, break the filament sensor too. Okay, I will. So I guess the best way to test this, instead of yanking it out, that should also work, but that might be a bit too harsh and too quick. I'm actually going to do this. Oh, and now that spool of filament is trash. Cool. That's actually what that sensor is good for. Like if you have a filament spool that you messed up and tangled or crossed, then it's going to detect when the filament actually gets tangled up in itself. Okay, so that did work. That did work. That is nice. Why are you screaming at me? Stop! Please press the knob to unload filament. Can I just load on top of this? Well, I probably shouldn't. Yo! That didn't give me any filament back. I want my filament back. So that apparently just went in far enough past the gears. Alright. Let's just say that's okay. Insert filament and press the knob. So we now have two, oh, please wait, okay. Two bits of filament that are butted up against each other. It's not what should work, but please wait. So there's a progress indicator down there. This is basically the nightmare of any extruder, but yeah. Are there no mechanical end stops, Ching Hansen? No, they're not. It's all done through the stepper drivers and the resistance detection in those drivers. So no mechanical end stops. Or mechanical, electrical, whatever. Button end stops. Change correctly. So this is actually for filament color change. If you want to do a color change and it, yeah, color not clear. So if you don't get the color, the new color you wanted, filament not loaded, filament is loaded. So yes, change correctly, and it should resume printing. Don't leave me hanging here. There you go. That is printing. Okay, so this is interesting. It did detect that it's not on feeding anymore. Cool. So there you go. 3 out of 3 sensors not quite working. So somewhere in there's a piece of filament stuck. This isn't great. Yeah. I'm actually going to try to push that through. So yeah, it did not extrude, it did not feed through. Repeat unloading, no, let's try to push that through, but that's not actually loading. That is not actually loading. Okay. Cool, what to do. I lied to the printer and said it was still loaded. Well, it's a man gotta do. Let's see, it should still be hot. Unload filament. That is not unloading. So can I, how do I open this up? So these 2 screws go all the way through. Okay. That is that M3? So over here we have 2 screws, which are now the, okay, we can't. Why are these so loose? Why can I turn these with the wrong key? We now have 2 screws that go all the way through instead of those 2 up top where it tensions it. It tensions that's the wrong key. That's the fan that's still spinning. There we go. So these go through and they have the spring on top of them. And then pull the idler lever in on this other side. There you go. Don't know what that is for, but you can just barely see the filament in there. Just barely see the filament in there. Right. This camera is not making me happy. Give me a second. Doesn't even turn off. The camera crashed. How can a camera crash? Didn't know that was even possible. Today, like I don't know, do we have like a solar flare storm or something, or whatever, but all tech is going haywire today. Must be Santa sled emitting some weird RF. I lighted the printer. Yeah, I mean, it was coming out. But this we should be able to get out. Reasonably well. Sorry, I'm gonna have to lock the camera for a second. And these feet keep coming off. There we go. There's our filament. So, now this back in. I don't know what this clip up top here does, but I'm going to put it back into position. Yeah. We do have the winky face. Wow, that hat is red. We do have the winky face Joe Prusa shirt. That might be the wrong one today. It's the hat. Who knows? Dust port cover for the sensor. Ah, cool. So that should reduce the lighting issue that we're having initially. Okay. Let's actually try that again. Okay. So theoretically, now the filament sensor should be working. So I should be, if I give this a nice clean end. Should be able to push this in. No, I can't. Oh, because it thinks it's still loaded. Okay, unload, preheat the nozzle. I don't know why that is not automatic yet. If you say unload filament, like why doesn't it just heat up to 220 and unload then? That's something that's been bugging me for a while, but eventually. Printer feed, yes. There. So because this printer has a new aluminum profile base, it has these rubber feet. One there, one not there, and another one back here. These rubber feet that are basically being twisted in, and they keep falling out. If you move the printer at all, they keep falling out. Oh, there's already a foot down there. Okay. One, two. They make these in like a screw-in version, so you could just put a T-nuts down here and actually screw these in, but these are just popped in. I'm not a big fan of that. So, yeah. Make it time-proof. Yeah, we are testing stuff live. We're documenting it, and this is again one of the goals of these live streams, just to have everything as authentic as proof to manipulation as possible. If stuff doesn't work, it doesn't work. Also, not a huge fan of these scrapers. They don't actually scrape. Cool, probably got some grease on there. So let's tell it to unload. There's nothing in there. Now it should think it's empty, and now the filament sensor should work. There you go. Okay, now it's doing its thing. Cool. Flex the bed. Take the bed off and bend it. Well, it's basically the same thing, but the problem is you can only bend it so far, and that was a very, very thin print on it, which bending it is not going to do much because the print itself is flexible. So, yeah. Maybe I don't want more printers in the future. Well, if I were doing this intentionally, I'd be doing a horrible job at it. Okay, filament is loaded. Let's try the... we are already preheated. Let's try filament detection again, and maybe this time it's not going to go in far enough so that it doesn't catch on the... or goes past the extruder drive gears. So let me see, I think I should be able to switch back audio right now. Okay, so this should be the actual lav mic. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to test all the features of the Mark III and see how well they do. So far, out of the 3 smart features, they all kind of worked. Kinda. But not as reliably as I was hoping. So that is filament runout detection with the optical sensor. That is skipped steps detections on X and Y. And that is power loss detection. We've seen all 3 work, but all 3 kind of didn't recover as well as they could. So the sensing itself does work, but the recovery doesn't do quite the job it's supposed to with this current version of firmware, which is beta 138. Cool. Let's actually snip that again. So this is the official Joe Prusa recommended version of testing the sensor. I know he does it himself, so yeah. I mean, that is a scary view. Like, see that the little bit of filament. Goodbye, filament. And can still see it between the... Okay, now it's still between the extruder gears. Ah, that's loud. Press the knob to unload, and now it's actually unloading. Okay, that's how, see guys, that's how it's supposed to work. Repeat unloading filament. No, filament is unloaded. Insert filament and press the knob. Okay, one of 3 at least working exactly the way it should. And press the knob. There we go. And now we should just keep on printing. Quality of the printed parts, on the printer. Well, pretty good, pretty good. Bit of a crack right there, but that's the file where it's very thin. Let me grab my Mark II and compare. I'd say it's... I mean, these parts on the Mark III, so we're talking about these orange parts that are actually on the printer, orange and black. These parts are also printed on, well, the Mark IIIs that Prusa uses. So these orange parts look good. They look better than what's on the Mark II. They're definitely more than functional. Of course, they're printed relatively quickly and with relatively thick layers. I'd say this is maybe like, what, 0.35? Maybe not quite. Maybe 0.25 or something. Relatively large layers, but print quality on these is appropriate. It's not super fantastically great, but it's very appropriate. Changed correctly, yes. Go, print, do your thing. There's a lot of... Oh, we have... Crap, we have definitely changed correctly. But, by now. And yeah, that worked. That worked.
Here is something towards a new stream setup. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Skipper. Yeah, that Ryzen or Threadripper build is definitely needed. Thank you. Could it not detect the insertion with the sensor? Yes, it could. I was wondering about that as well. Like, why didn't it automatically pull it back in? Might be some reliability thing. Not sure, but theoretically it could. It could. Light getting into the sensor. They did actually, so light getting into the sensor, that was one of the big issues at TCT on the show floor. You can just barely see right here. There's an added printed part that we took out and put back in, and this supposedly is to block the light getting to the sensor. Fluorescent lighting, which I'm using here as well. So, and I do have a relatively bright light shining in from that angle. You can see its reflections right there. I do have a relatively bright light shining from that side that might be getting into... It shouldn't. It shouldn't. But yeah, originally they were having some issues with fluorescent light just because it slightly strobes, irritating the sensor. It should be a problem here, I think. But it's not out of the question. Use a camera flash. Specs of my laptop, 6300 HQ in the GTX 950M, plus RAM and SSDs, etc. And it's completely bogged down. Anyways, right, let's recap. What do we see? So what are the big features of the Mark III? The big features, I guess we can condense it down to 6. Wow, no, it's actually more than that. It's like 7 things. Okay. Flexible PEI bed. Feels nice, looks nice, grabs well, works. So that's a win. New subframe. Aluminum profile. You can see that, how that is bolted just to the front and back plates and to the center plates as well. 75% win. I like how it makes the entire printer more rigid. I don't like the feet. Like, please replace those. Please replace those with screw-on ones. Every time I move the printer, one of those feet pops out. Not a fan. What else? TMC 2130 drivers. Noise level, fantastic. Like, the volume this thing is running at, and this is the louder of the two modes right now. The noise level this thing is running at is absolutely fantastic. TMC 2130 also do the block detection, which it wasn't quite working perfectly for me in this stream. I know it can work. Not sure why it doesn't work there. Somewhat nice. Might need a bit more work, and will also need a bit more investigation from my side. What exactly went wrong there? What else do we have? We have sensors. So sensors for filament path. Sensor works great. It's a fantastic addition. Still needs a bit more work in software just to, like, the recovery process. Why doesn't the filament start feeding once you place the filament back in? Why is that not working? And also, why did it let too much filament pass through so the filament actually went past the extruder gears and the extruder couldn't retract it far enough? So that's might need a bit of tuning, but basically it works. What else? That printer probe still works. Calibration wizard, again, software needs more work. Yes, power down, power outage detection. So theoretically, you could pull the power cord. I'm not going to try that again because on the first try, it did recover. It did detect the power outage. It did recover. It went to where it's supposed to start printing, and then it didn't start printing. It just sat there. Hardware works great. Software needs a bit of a polish. Like, it's kind of a consistent theme. 24 volts, yeah, that's not a feature really that needs advertising, but yeah, of course, it's 24 volt system now. Should make it a bit more reliable. Why don't I try one more time? I'm gonna try to get one print out, one decent print, and then I shall try it again. What speed am I printing at? I don't want to open up Slick there again because that did bog down the laptop too much. But default speeds, this is vase mode, so it is being slowed down by the minimum layer time. So this is basically being limited by how fast it can cool the printed part. But it does print a lot faster for regular prints. The first few layers you were able to see that it hoons. It goes properly fast. I feel like I'm missing something. New ANSI board, yeah, big feature of that is the TMC2130. I guess that should be, yep, that should be pretty much everything. Doesn't 24 volt mean faster bed heating? It does heat slightly faster, but unless you increase power, just having more voltage with an appropriate 24 volt bed doesn't necessarily mean it heats faster. It wastes less power, that's for sure. Thanks for the £5, Mickey Man Mike. Buy a beer and stop making Joseph sad. He brought this onto himself. Yeah. Cool. Are these parts 3D printed? Someone's asking. So these Z ends, yes, they are. Everything that's orange on this printer is 3D printed. This is actually printed on the Mark IIs or Mark IIIs as well. These couplers right there, these are Delrin. These are just machined standard parts. There's no point printing these. Like, just buy them. Buy them as a unit with your lead screw. These are integrated lead screw slippers. Definitely a good choice, but buy them. Don't print like linear motion components. Not worth it. Or pulleys or stuff. Just buy them. Uh, 3D printing meathead asking about why having a bed probe at all. So on the z-axis, it's actually, yeah, you have some springiness. But the problem is they need a certain resistance to sense that resistance reliably, because otherwise it's just going to trigger during normal use as well, during normal movement. So the bed is slightly flexible, so if you press down on it, it will flex, and it's really hard to accurately detect when the nozzle actually hits the bed and presses it down a fixed amount. That is really hard to get right, and for the time being, the Z-probe works more accurately and reliably for that. Also, the XY squaring compensation that this thing does with the probe points on the heater PCB, that would completely be impossible with just the hot end touching down onto the surface. So that is one reason why the sensor is still necessary to this point. Printing speed, again, this is limited by cooling right now. This is not the full printing speed. If you saw the first few layers, those were fast. Do the prints come off easily? Yes, they do. Try and rehome it. I want to get this one print out, and then we can try messing with it again. What does PEI stand for? Polyetherimide or something. Etherimide. It's a polymer. Poly something. What would you like to see in the Mark IV? I think I'm going to make a whole separate video about what I'm expecting for 2018. Because there are a lot of things that I would like seeing. Probably this thing. I like having an LCD on a printer, but this thing is just so outdated. It's time to go. It's time to upgrade that next. The rest of the printer is really good, but that's just it does its thing. It works, but like. MK4 will make itself. Well, this guy's already making itself. These parts are already printed on Mark III. All the orange parts are printed on these Mark III printers at Prusa HQ, so yep. Let's see. There we go. That's a nice image. I still really like how this filament looks when it's printed well. It's just so nice and shiny. But that's not vase mode. Sorry guys. Slick through. What are you doing? That's not vase mode. What polymer Buildtech is? Buildtech is polycarbonate as far as I know. A structured polycarbonate. Which is why you should definitely not clean it with acetone. And I'm told you also shouldn't use acetone liberally on PEI. All right, Heller, thanks for the $5. Finally got a printer before Tom. Well, when did you get yours? I had these standing around since this Monday. Supposedly I was going to get them last week. But yeah. Is there an MMU available for Mark III for the multi-material upgrade for this Mark III? Not yet, but it's coming. It's coming. Nozzle diameter 0.4 standard E3D. Yeah, so screens again. I don't care about the actual interface. I care about what it does. So for me, that would mean having some sort of CPU in here that is actually worthy of being called a CPU. So drop a Raspberry Pi or some ARM processor in here that does slicing on the board. USB thumb drive, plug it in, slice on the machine, print on the machine. Never have to touch slicer again. That would be my dream. I don't care about like Wi-Fi, cloud, whatever integration as much. If it's done well, yes, it can add value, but just onboard slicing. If any of you listen to Methodisch Inkorrekt, great podcast. Great guys doing it. A physics professor failing to understand that a 3D printer cannot process STL files directly. Basically, old MakerBot Replicator 2X grabbed a few STL files, threw them on an SD card, couldn't print them. That's like, basically right now our printers are not usable by even the most skilled people we have, and that is a sad thing. So yeah, that's something I definitely want to see in the next generations of printers. Belt actually twists on the axis. Does it or is it nagel? Oh yeah, this. I see what you mean. Belt twisty twist. It does slightly rock back and forth, but that is just because it's rubbing on this side. And no, that does not affect print quality in any way. Thanks for the €10. Couch is calling. Yes, well, it's 10:54. I think it's going to be straight to bed for me today. But yeah, thanks for the super chat. I might not make it to the couch. I still have to finish this print and then do another one that we can ruin again. Chris Kelly, thanks for £2. What are my thoughts on Dude Wi-Fi and Ethernet? Great boards, fantastic boards. I have a Wi-Fi. I've not had the time to try it out, but it's a great team that's developing it. It's great hardware. The hardware is really, really, really good. Not sure what the software can do, but I hear it does a lot of things. Yeah, you probably can't go wrong with it. I'm gonna be at the Congress. No, not planned. Not planned. Is this a review unit or did I buy it? This is a review unit that was provided to me for free, as are. Let me think. Actually, pretty much any products that are featured on this channel right now. I've not bought a 3D printer in a really, really long while. That is incorrect. The Mark II dolly that's sitting back there. That is one that I bought for my own money. Pretty much everything else is being sent to me either as a free review unit or as a loaner unit that I then send back. So let's see. What? Okay. I have just been handed a gift packet. Interesting. Sound, yes, I did mute myself for a second there. I'm genuinely confused. Thanks, Mom. I got a scar. I don't see the context in this. But my mom just came here and gave me a scarf. Like, thanks, but why? It's not socks. The guy, what? I'm genuinely confused. Okay. Is it cold down here? No, it is not. I'm sweating. Well, that was. I lost track. Right. I'm not cold. No, I'm fine. Thanks. Filament looks awesome. Yes, this is Torwell Silk. I did do a filming episode on it. It's one of the fancy modified PLAs. Cool. I also lost track on chat. Sorry. Thanks, Niels. Merry Christmas to you too. Cut the filament. We did cut the filament. We did see that working. I want to get this one print out. I want to make a nice single print and have that done. So it is. Any jams unloading yet? Not yet. But I've only had a single unload that I've done yet. So thanks for the $5 Australian. Gears form filament to a ball occasionally. Well, how long does this thing take? So we have printed for 22 minutes so far. 22 minutes. I sliced this, so we're at 88%. Should be done pretty quickly. So again, just a volume, or loudness comparison. I don't know if you can hear the printer going in the background at all, but you can kind of hear it. This is normal mode, so you can. I would be comfortable having this in a room with me. It's not super silent. If we turn it back to stealth. Wow. That is still impressive every single time. Like, I don't know if you were able to hear the difference there. But again, the motion right now is basically inaudible. It's the same as with the TMC 2130 that I just showed you on the dolly conversion. It's just mind-boggling how quiet this is. Again, that the fans now are the ones that are noisy. That's literally the only thing that's making noise right now. And it's probably it's the part cooling fan. The hot and cooling fan doesn't do anything. So if you're printing like PTG where you don't have that much of a fan speed, fan noise, ramp, whatever going on, it's going to be inaudible. You're going to be walking into a room and you'll have to check whether it's actually moving. This is great. All right, good night, Niels. Thanks for stopping by. Cool, done. Bit of overheating there, tiny bit of overheating. All right, and there is the Haribos. Yeah, the camera knows its priorities. Damn straight it does. There's. There we go. I'd say that is a pretty nice print. I mean, at the top, you kind of have to expect that this is going to ooze or melt down. Where's the thing? But yeah, pretty nice. Yeah, okay, that's just a weak. I know the Bed is still hot. It's still sticking a bit too well. Should have taken the the bed and flexed it. Okay, but that's just a weak spot in the print. But there we go. Nice looking print. We can hold it together like this. Nobody's gonna notice, right? Yeah. Okay, print is looking good. Let's shit. I just wanted one nice print. Come on, how I just wanted one nice print for today. I might need to restart that, but if you look at that, there's just very little contact area between these two layers right there. Kind of had to. Okay, well, we're back to webcam audio. Thanks for the info. 1 hour print is going to be too long. That's going to be way past midnight. Not doing that. Not doing that. So this printed. This did its job. Let's try and torture it. Let's print this exact print again. Or maybe, well, let's actually try with the buddy. Where was it? Let's actually try with the buddy print and what's it doing? Let's actually try the buddy print and torture it while we do that. Castle buddy. Okay. So that's a pre-sliced file that came on the SD card. So that's one that is give me a second. That's the file that actually came on the SD card, so some of the features might work better. Let's see. Normal mode is not enabled yet, but we should be able to change that. Stealth. No. Okay, now we get crash detection again. Let's see. Where was I? Okay, Slick 3R. We are using 1.37.2 Prusa 3D Win64. That's the one that I downloaded today in the 2.0.0, I believe, driver package from Prusa directly. So this is the most recent version that you could have, or that is officially supplied. Yeah. Maybe they have no sound. Yes, sound. Upgraded software. Well, it's the newest Prusa. All right. 215 seems kind of high. I always printed at 210, 215 for PLA. Unless you're using some low temperature PLA, it's totally fine. Before we go to 200% print speed, let's actually just see how fast the default print speed is, because it is pretty fast. Like, yeah, live Z adjust is still a thing. Yes, it is. it is. It is still 100% a thing. Slicer 1.38.5 is the newest version. Why did I not get that with the newest? Guys, let's just, while that is laying down its first layer. So drivers, Prusa. That's the newest firmware. So 2.0.0. That's what I downloaded. That's what I used. Windows version. Slicer updated. No, that's 1.9. Updated to 1.37.2. This is what I downloaded. This is what I used. If there is a separate version somewhere, then I don't have it. I don't know how to get it. Right. That's printing. At least when faster might speed up a bit more. Yeah, so for anyone wanting like 200% print speed, I mean, yeah. GitHub. Yeah, why is it not part of the official driver package? Like these are all those little things that kind of annoy me. And how is a user supposed to know to check GitHub? Seriously, come on, guys. This isn't up to your standards. You should be able to download a driver package from the official driver package page, and I should be able to check the manual right here. Download and install the drivers. Okay, there's a manual page for that. Page 40. Let me check what it says. I feel like it doesn't say check GitHub. Push control. Printer drivers. Prusa3d.com/drivers. It doesn't mention GitHub, so same rules for all. This is one of the things that I got annoyed at with some of the Far East brands, that you don't have like an official way of getting your drivers, your slicer profiles, your stuff. It feels like it's the same thing here. This shouldn't be the case. This should be better than those thrown together printers. Yeah. All right. Good question here in chat from what was it? Ball117. PTG for cosplay armor printing, aka Star Wars armor and stuff. First of all, don't get into copyright trouble there. Second of all, PTG is a great plastic. It doesn't take paints too well. It's not the greatest plastic for painting. Just try PLA. PLA is it's a very universal plastic for that. Unless it gets hot, PLA is a great plastic. So try that. You probably don't want to get into ABS, especially if you have larger prints. PLA, probably your best friend. Also check out Sam and Nico, aka Corridor Digital's channel. They have recently done some really big projects with 3D printing, supported by Matter Hackers and using their Ultimaker. They've done everything in PLA. It's working out great for them. Right. All right. Would I say the noise level is comparable to a normal desktop PC noise level, or are we not quite there yet? So on normal mode, this is, yeah, you can still hear the motion. The motion is still louder than what a typical desktop PC does. If we go into silent mode, I'd say this is probably comparable to a desktop PC. Let me get the decibel meter out, if I can find it. Oh, might not have it here. Nope, don't have it here. Where is it going? So yeah, this right here, this is about as loud as a laptop with a fan on full speed, roughly. So maybe the quick motion you can kind of hear a bit, but everything else is reasonably quiet. So about on par with like a computing device with a small fan. This fan right here, this is the noisiest one. All right. Yeah, and if you have anything else that's making noise, office ventilation, etc., then of course you will have a pretty rough time hearing it. Okay, let's begin the torturing. Pinch the rod and let the printhead crash to your hand. Actually, this might be the perfect length. So let's see if we can simulate a blockage. Let's put it into the mode where it can actually detect that first. That would be great. So normal mode, crash detection on. Right there, crash detection, normal mode, and can I jam this in here somewhere? Yes, I can, and that worked. So it is currently rehoming itself, and it should just keep on printing. Looks like it does. Okay, that's working. That is working. Cool. With Eagles bearings, again, the bearings aren't that noisy. Well, compared to the rest of the printer, yes, they are making some noise. Okay, that is working. What else did we not test? We didn't test, okay, we didn't have power outage detection working successfully, so let's just try that right now. It does not appear that the nozzle has lifted. So there's nothing powering this thing. There's no power left. LCD is completely off. All heaters, etc. are off. So let's just give it its power back. So it did detect that it stalled. It did make a bit of a blob right there. Yep. We did see some blobbing there. It did not move its nozzle out of the way. Let's see if this works. So we got this far before. We got this far before we went to heating, and it tried to recover. So right now it's already trying to recover. Bed heating, it lost 2 degrees. So it does. If it doesn't drop below a certain threshold, it doesn't actually stop and pause and wait for you to come back. It just resumes. It did ooze out a bit. You can't see that, but there's a bit of an ooze bugger there. And it does look like it's resuming, but it is dragging over the print quite hard. Yeah, it's definitely sinking its nozzle into the print pretty roughly, or pretty rough. You might be able to see it bouncing around, and yeah, you can definitely see that bouncing around. It did not do the Z lift move, and I think it just assumes that it did that move. The print might complete, the print might finish, but there's definitely going to be a seam there. Oh, it did recover, but it didn't recover well. So, I guess, yeah. I'm just going to let that print for a bit. We are going to see a really squeezed out layer right there. Yeah, you can see how much that is squeezing itself down. Okay, interesting. Don't know why it wouldn't lift itself up. Anyways, right. gonna be it for me today. It is 11:15 on Christmas Eve. Yeah, good time to call it a day. So, what do we see? I think there's still a bit of work to be done on the software side of things. Firmware. It's still called beta. It is still called beta 138. However, it is a printer that is shipping right now. In this state, this printer is shipping to people that actually bought it. I didn't buy this one. This was provided to me by Prusa Research. So, but people that bought it outright are getting this printer, this version of the printer with this firmware. I don't think it is quite worthy of shipping it yet. This is stuff that will definitely need to be addressed by Prusa Research and fixed eventually, because right now I like that they're including the features. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it is fantastic that they are finally including smart features like the filament sensors, like the step loss detection. That is something we've needed for years. It needs to be implemented better. It needs to be more reliable. And this recovery, I don't know if it's worth having a recovery like this at all, because the print is still ruined. I'm hoping that is something they can fix in software. I'm really hoping that they will. Until then, yes, have a Merry Christmas. Have a nice Christmas vacation. Hopefully you guys get a few days off at least. I will be building the kit of the Mark III. I do have another box of printer parts that is the kit right now. I will be building this probably on second Christmas Day, on the 26th. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Until then, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for joining in. I can finally take this off now. This is starting to itch. But yeah, have a Merry Christmas and see you soon. Joe, please fix your software. This pains me. All right, see ya.